Now this is my simple circuit. As you can see, the first step that you'll have to do is you'll have to hook up your wire from your power source right here, and you'll have to hook it up to here, and then from there you'll grab another wire and grab this yellow one right here and hook it up to your bulb, and then from your bulb you'll go to your ground, and then that's what it'll be down here. And then you know how my bulb's just going to be staying on, like it'll just be staying on. So now we're going to add a switch. We'll be able to turn it off and on. All right, so now as you can see, we have a switch now. So what I did is, you know that wire that I hooked up from my bulb, I grabbed that wire, and what I did is I hooked it over here to the switch, the top of it, and then I grabbed another wire, hooked it up to the bottom of the switch, and then from the bottom of the switch, I went to the bulb, and then from the bottom of the bulb, I went to my ground. And then now, as you can see, now I can turn it off and on. And then now I'll be teaching you guys how to do a parallel circuit, because you know how in a car you have 4 lights, because you have the 2 in the back and then 2 in the front. So now I'm gonna hook up 4 lights, and then I'll show you in a series. I'll show you guys a series. All right. So as you guys can see, I hooked up all my wires, and then we're gonna follow them. So from here we hook up to our power source, and then from our power source is yellow. It's gonna hook up to the top of our switch. And then the bottom of our switch, we're gonna hook up that wire to the top of this bulb, to the first bulb, and then we're gonna grab another wire, hook it up to the bottom of the bulb, and then hook it up to the top of this bulb, to the top of this one right here. And then we're gonna do the same process to the other 2. And then on the last one, we're gonna grab another wire, hook it up to the bottom of the bulb, and then hook it up to the ground. So then from there, it'll hit the ground, and then it'll go to the ground. So then we're gonna flip our switch, and as you guys can see, it's not really working. You guys can't really see the lights, because in a series circuit, what the electricity does, it would go flow through one, and then it'll just start going through the others, and it'll start taking away some of the voltage. So that's why you won't see the lights are being as bright, and it's only this one that's, well, each bulb will become bright, and it'll have like its own voltage. Now, as you guys can see, I hooked up all my wire, and now I switched it into a parallel. So what I did here is I grabbed the wire that was going to the bottom of the bulb. I switched it and I made it go to the side, and I did that to each bulb. And then I grabbed another wire, hooked it up to the bottom of the bulb, and hooked it up to the ground, and that's what I did to each one of the bulbs. So then now, all 4 of them, they'll all have the same brightness, as you guys can see right here. And then now what we're also gonna do here is, like, you know, in a vehicle, it has more than just bulbs in there. It also has a horn, your windshield wipers, and stuff like that. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna add a horn, where then now we're gonna have to grab another wire. We're gonna have to hook up to our horn, and then from a horn, we're gonna have to hook that up to the ground. And then from there, we'll show you guys that we'll be able to use our horn now. Alright, so now what I did here is I grabbed the wire, hooked it up to the bottom of the switch, and then from that wire we hooked it up to the top of the horn, and then from the bottom of the horn we hooked up a wire to go to the ground. So then from now, we're gonna turn on our switch, and then now you guys can hear the horn going off. So then you guys don't wanna have your lights and horn going off at the same time. So what we're now gonna do is we're gonna have to add another switch. So then we'll be able to control, one can control the bulbs, and then the other can control your horn, where you'll be able to turn off your horn and off and on. All right, so now what we did here is we grabbed another wire, hooked it up to our power supply, and then from our power supply, we hooked it up to the momentary switch. And then from there, we grabbed another wire, hooked it up to the other side of the momentary switch. And then from there, we hooked it up to the top of the horn. And then you have the same wire that's on the bottom of the horn, touching to the ground. And then from there, we'll turn on the switch. And as you guys can see, you guys don't hear my horn, only my lights are on. So then what I'll do is I'll hit this button right here, and then my horn will be going off. So then, as you guys can see, we're still using the same power supply, So you guys know, kind of like in your guys' homes, like you guys know how you guys have multiple switches for like your kitchen, your bedroom, to like turn on the lights. This is what this is, because it's pretty much like the same thing. But so this here is just a little sample of what you can do with electricity, because out there's way many more ways what you can do with electricity. But thanks to the automotive class for letting me use this ATEC, because this ATEC's the most safest way to do about electricity, because you can learn a lot more better without getting hurt or anything. Because if we were doing it with like the electricity that's flowing through your guys' homes and all that, you could get shocked, and that could cause death, because electricity it's like pretty high voltage, and it could just hit you. If it hits you, you could just die instantly. And I want to say thank you to Mr. Knapp's class for watching this video, and thank you, Mr. Knapp.